Well, a very special day in the El Paso community. Obviously, the reason being it's time for the ABC7 Utep Football Coaches Show. We now welcome Miners head man Dana Dimmel. And Coach, coming off that matchup, the one that was supposed to happen this past weekend against North Texas, called off after the Mean Green electing not to travel to El Paso. Did that take you by surprise at all?
It did catch us by surprise, and again, it was a little frustrating for us. Had ourselves ready to play a football game and had to switch gears a little bit earlier than the Southern Miss change in plans. We got this one on Tuesday night, and so on Wednesday we decided to go ahead and have a practice on Wednesday to get ready for North Texas so we could get a good game plan, put it away for our later December date. We're hoping to play them on December 12th, and then moved on and got some early preparation for FIU, our next opponent. That's all you can do now, Nate, is just move on, react, and move on.
With the growing number of cases in El Paso, did the decision by North Texas, did it at least make sense to you?
You know what? I understand, their concerns. I understand everybody's concerns with our growing numbers right now. Frustrating for us because our team is healthy, and all you had to do was get to the hotel, stay in the hotel, wake up the next morning and play a football game. We've flown through hurricane warnings to play football games. We've flown 4 hours to play football games. Sometimes you just have to go through some things to get to play the games. It's that time. And so for us, it was a little bit disappointing that they chose not to come.
In your opinion, is El Paso currently a safe place to play a college football game?
Oh, I think it's a great environment to play a college football game because, our team's staying healthy, and so you're going to get into the hotel. The hotels are sanitized and do a great job in our community, and you're going to get up the next morning, play football, and get back on a plane and go. You're not going to get out amongst anything that's concerning to you.
And you want to talk about schedules in flux here. You just came in here. It's a special day today, obviously Election Day. There's no practice for the Miners here today, so does that change things as far as preparation for you?
Oh, it does. Today's just coaches obviously meeting, spending our time. The players just have their academic responsibilities that they have to stay to and any treatments that they might have in the training room. But the rest of the day focus on getting out, voting, and of course paying attention to what's going on in their country. The NCAA made that part of what they're doing, and of course we're all behind it.
Do you feel it's important for players and student athletes to have this day off to take part in the community on Election Day?
Oh, I do. I think it's so important. We have such great leaders in our program, future leaders in our program. And I tell them, a big part of the democratic values that we have is being able to speak your mind, and that comes through voting. And so I tell them, go out there, be a leader, and make sure your vote is recognized in the country.
Florida International team that already has had a couple opt-outs, a couple injuries. Does that make things more difficult to prepare for, I guess, because you don't necessarily know who's going to be taking the field?
No, we're trying to do great diligence and research and hitting all the newspaper articles, any press conferences we can study, all the work you do to figure out who's going to be playing, but we still don't have a great feel of who's going to be lining up against us this weekend.
So as far as scouting, you just mentioned it, looking at some newspaper clippings or something like that. Are you looking around the local beat writers or things like that? How creative do you guys have to get?
Oh, the Miami Herald's a good, good resource for us. Anything we can get on the internet's a good resource for us. You'd be amazed all the resources we use to gather information that we can get on an opponent, especially in this case when we're not sure about who might be back from COVID, who might be back from injuries.
All right, Coach, an Election Day around the country. I'm sure a lot of people will be looking at numbers on television. You're probably looking at numbers of a different variety here the rest of the afternoon, but with Florida International on Saturday, I'd assume.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting year, Nate. As a head coach, it's such a stressful time because each and every test you'd sit back and wait and hope your team stays positive, and so that's always been a huge concern for us. And then I've taken some of this extra time and watched tape on Rice, watched tape on Southern Miss, even though we had done that already. Watch tape on UAB. You got to take this extra time right now to spend time, and also done some preparation on UTSA. So my mind's boggled with a lot of football right now because we're trying to make the most of every minute that we have.
All right, Utep and Florida International. We'll try it again this Saturday from the Sun Bowl. Either going to be one game above or one game below 500. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Nate. Appreciate it.